My name's John Mann, and the following are extracts from about the last 5 years of Television New Zealand programmes. My favourite is probably the first one, which is Brunner, which hasn't gone to air yet. I'll introduce each item before we get to it. I'm primarily an actor, but I've also presented quite a lot. I presented about 150 hours of PlaySchool, some of which is included. I can be contacted either at my home number, which is Dunedin 779-849, or my agent in Auckland is the Teddy G Actors Agency. I won't give their phone number because they keep moving. Or for that matter, I can be contacted at Television New Zealand in Dunedin because my programmes will be repeated till 1992. Other little tidbits of information: I can tap dance, I can play the spoons, and I ride horses. And I hope you enjoy some, if not all, of the following programmes. Now, the first is Brunner. As I say, this hasn't gone to air yet. It's been saved up to help celebrate New Zealand's 150-year centenary. I play Brunner in a television film called Brunner. He's New Zealand's most famous explorer. So here we go with Brunner.
Between the New Nelson colony and the wild west coast of the South Island. 2 previous attempts to penetrate the dangerous gorges and explore the unknown interior had failed. A young Nelson surveyor, Thomas Brunner, having been involved in the previous attempts, was determined to try again. At the end of 1846, this pious and stoic young Englishman with his Maori guides set out on an expedition which was to last 550 days and cover more than 1,200 kilometers. Brunner's journals tell the story of what became the greatest single journey of exploration in the European history of New Zealand.
E hoa, e toma. Ko Moses aho, take you to the promised land.
February 17th, 1847. I am sorely disappointed in the appearance of the river during a fresh. I expected something majestic, instead of which I see nothing but a dull, dirty-looking flood. We made about 2 miles of very bad walking. Showers of rain frightened us on. My load consists of a gun, 7 pounds of shot, 8 pounds of tobacco, 2 tomahawks, 2 pairs of boots, 5 shirts, 4 pairs of trousers, a rug, a blanket, besides at least 30 pounds of fern root.
Today, Tomo. Mary sick. Pike sick. Even Kehu a little bit sick. By and by, I go to river to catch eel. Kehu will catch tuna for kai. Tomorrow we walk. All right?
Tomorrow. A pawpaw the day after. And then will you walk? Or will you catch tuna? We must walk, Kehu, before this place kills us. They should never have come.
Except for Kehu, the natives bear hunger badly. They get irritable in temper, continually asking in what way I will compensate them for their sufferings. Rain continuing, dietary shorter, strength decreasing, spirits failing, prospects fearful. Were it not for the shame of the thing, I would return home to Nelson.
Kehu speaks truth. We cannot go this way. Too far. Not enough kai. Etoma, you've found much already. More than any Pākehā. So close. So near. Kua raruraru ki tātou i ngā Pākehā o reira.
Ka whakaro o rātou. Kua mate ke ia. Ka noha tātou ki konei. Kua mate katoa tātou. Kua kore he kai.
E toma. You not to worry. You're safe with Kehu. and by. You see.
July 13th, 1847, Taramakal. 7 months since leaving Fraser, I am at the point which Charles Heafy and I reached via the coast in May of last year, 200 miles from Nelson. I fancy there may be 200 and more miles to walk before I reach my desired goal of Milford Haven. October 22nd, reached Ocorito, a large mud flat of at least 10,000 acres in extent, nearly all covered at high water. It is remarkable for its quantity of fish and is a great resort for all kinds of waterfowl. Ocorito is one of the most beautiful pieces of scenery I have seen in New Zealand. The snow-capped range comes down to the coast and is crowned by the highest peak, Aoraki.
By early November, the success of Brunner's renewed journey seemed to have proved Kehu wrong. The explorer in Brunner could not be denied. Milford Sound, the second goal of his expedition, now seemed clearly within his reach, but his dream, his obsession, was not to be fulfilled.
December 11th, 1847, Paringa.
In June 1848, as the first frosts of winter cut through the rags of his clothes, Thomas Brunner hobbled over the last stony stretch of a journey which had covered 1,200 kilometers. The expedition he thought would last 6 months had taken 18. Almost nothing was left of the supplies and equipment he set out with. He had endured flood, storm, starvation, injury, and a paralyzing stroke.
Have you eaten? Good God, man, you're a ghost.
Take unto himself.
Right, that was Brunner. And now for something completely different. Some bits and pieces, perhaps even a montage of PlaySchool, which is going to air now, and as I say, will be repeated until 1992. So bits and pieces of New Zealand's PlaySchool.
Put on your scarecrow coat, put on your scarecrow coat, put on your scarecrow coat, we're going out today. There, my scarecrow coat. You ever seen a scarecrow? Standing in a paddock to scare off all the birds. I've got my scarecrow coat on, and I've got my scarecrow shirt on, and I've got my great big scarecrow boots on there.
You're looking really good, John. But I was thinking, if you like, I've got some makeup here, and I could draw a scarecrow face on.
Great.
Good
That'd be
idea?
good. Yes,
Okay.
please.
Sit down.
Right.
Now, what does the scarecrow have? I know. A
I'm
big
a happy,
smile
I'm
first.
a happy scarecrow.
Right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'll draw a big smile going right across and up the other side. Gonna go round your mouth too. There we go. Now, since it's cold outside, we better give you rosy, rosy cheeks. One round rosy cheek and 2 round rosy cheeks. And perhaps a bit of a red nose too. Pretty cold out in the mornings. Great. Now, how about some scarecrow eyebrows? 1, 2. I think that looks like a pretty friendly scarecrow. Now you just need a final touch. A wibbly wobbly ning nang nong crazy scarecrow hat.
There, well, I do. I feel great. I feel just like a scarecrow. I feel like a dingle, dangle, flippy floppy scarecrow. When all the cows were sleeping and the sun had gone to bed, up jumped a scarecrow, and this is what he said. I'm a dingle-dangle scarecrow with a flippy-floppy hat, and I shake my hands like this, and I shake my feet like that.
That looks like fun being a dingle-dangle to keep me warm on the ship.
And one scarf here
And we're about done. There, round there, I think. Oops. Hang on, Manu.
There we go. She looks good.
Well, how about that? I think they look marvellous. One thing left. I need a telescope for seeing things from the ship when we're out to sea.
Well, I thought you might want a telescope, so I got these. They might be just what we need.
That is grand. Grand thing.
2 cardboard rolls.
If that one fits inside, yes it does, one smaller than the other, I have a telescope ready-made. And, oh, you put a piece of sticky tape over the end so that when I store it in my belt, it won't fall through. See, bit of sticky tape on the end there, and I can look through it. There, what can I see? Oh, my word, what a band of big pole pirates I see.
Pirates. Ha 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 ha. We are big bold.
Boing, 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 boing. And they spent all of their time jumping to just about everything there. And soon, so many people were shouting, jump to it, that everybody in the whole country was jumping to it. The king became known as the King of Jumpland. People used to jump out of bed in the morning and back to bed at night. Now, every year in Jumpland, there was a competition to see if anybody could jump higher than the king. And the people practiced all day long. They practiced for weeks. And they were jumping high up in the air, up and down, up and down. The palace began to shake with all of that banging and bumping and jumping. And the king called his councillors to the throne room. And they jumped in. I'm finger painting. Lots and lots of fun. Have you ever done finger painting? He's splitching and splotching and glotching all over the place. I've got yellow paint to start off my finger painting. Into all sorts of things.
The second fairy is John.
Hello, I'm Fairy Bubbles, because when I am happy, happiness just bubbles up inside me. And when I'm sad, I feel like I've been popped like a balloon.
And the third fairy is ready to really zoom to the moon now.
It's a great practice, the real thing. And for this, we need our space chairs. Just look at these. Aren't these good? Space chairs. Now, if we sit down, and if you sit down in a chair, we can blast off to the moon together.
Seatbelts on.
Fastening.
Ready to go.
Yes, you ready? One moment, Kristen. We need to check out the time so we know when we left.
All right. Where's the space clock?
Over there. Well, the long hand is pointing straight up. So that means that it's something o'clock. The short hand's pointing to the number 8. So the time on the space PlaySchool clock is 8 o'clock. Hey, Kristen, we got time to check underneath.
Oh, I think so.
Right. And let's look underneath. Wow, it's a rocket. Ready to zoom to the moon.
And our rocket's ready to zoom to the moon too.
Your rocket ready?
Ready
We're
for the
gonna
blast
get ready
off?
for the blast off.
Countdown.
5, 4,
3,
2,
2, 1.
blast off! Going up and up. We're off. Exciting.
Oh.
We're flying to the moon.
On our way to the moon.
Just like Professor McSpoon. He flew to the moon.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good story, that Professor McSpoon.
It is.
It's going to take us quite a long time to get to the moon, John. Do you think you could tell the story while we're flying to the moon?
I'd love to, if you'll be Professor McSpoon.
All right, I'll be Professor McSpoon. I've got something here to help me look like Professor McSpoon, and I've got some other things too.
That's pretty good. Right, well, Kristen is getting ready to be Professor McSpoon. I check my rocket. I hope she's bringing the rocket, because Professor McSpoon flew in a rocket. There she is.
How do you do?
Look at this.
I'm Professor McSpoon.
Oh, hello, Professor McSpoon. And who's this?
This is little Ted. He's going to help us tell the story.
Right. There. Well, are you ready, Professor? And if you're sitting comfortably in your space chair, then I'll begin. This is the rocket that flew to the moon. And this is the person, Professor McSpoon, who constructed the rocket that flew to the moon. And this is Billy, the boy, who asked for a ride in the moon rocket.
Certainly. Come inside.
Said the clever inventor, Professor McSpoon, who constructed the rocket that flew to the moon. And now, the blast-off went buzzing and fizzing, as into the sky the rocket went whizzing. I've got some water here in a bowl, and I'm going to wet my hair, and feels just right. It's not too hot, and it's not too cold. Put my head over the bowl, and here we go. Whee! When you get your hair washed, is it over a bowl, or in the bath, or perhaps a shower? And make sure all the bits right down the back are good and wet. Whee! Got a bit in my ear then. There, all over. Yes, that feels wet. Now, the shampoo. There. Just about that much, and rub it in all over. And shampoo mixed with the water makes all these soapy bubbles. Make sure I get all the parts, and that washes the dirt out of my hair. Lots of bubbles. Can you do funny things with your hair when you're getting it shampooed? Make little spikes, make it all stick up. If you've got long hair, you can have lots of fun getting your hair shampooed. Even with my short hair, I can have a lot of fun. Give a bit more of a rub around the bottom, round my ears, round the front, and on top.
How are you getting on there,
I'm
Tom?
ready. Hi, Pauline. I think I'm ready to rinse it.
They're all clean now. Do you want
Yes.
some help with that rinsing?
Oh, that would be good. Thank
I
you.
brought a little towel here. Do you want that over your eyes?
Oh, no, I'll just close my eyes,
Close
thanks.
them tight. Good
Right.
idea. Okay. Well, just check this water. It feels okay, but tell me if it's too cold or too hot.
Lovely. Oh, that's good.
Is it? Good.
That's nice and warm.
Oh, there's lots of soapy bubbles there. Don't get your towel wet, okay?
Hello. I'll dry my hair now. A good hard rub with a towel. When you're getting your hair dry, do you rub it with a towel? Perhaps you use one of these. It's a hairdryer, and it blows warm air, like a good warm wind. Feels good too. Makes a lot of noise, but it's good fun. Right, I told you it'd be different. And now Legacy. Legacy was a large, broad-ranging drama documentary about the British influence on New Zealand, and I play a school teacher, a sort of fairly archetypal school teacher at the turn of the century. So, Legacy.
Our education, free, secular and compulsory, was very revealing.
And arms, shoulders, and chest. Legs, keep up burden, no lagging. Feet, abdomen, calves, thighs, neck. The duty of the British people has been to carry civilization and Christianity to the ends of the world. We didn't have to do that, but we have accepted our role. We have brought light where there was just darkness, and we've lifted the savage from the murky depths of his ignorance and barbarism. And remember this, wherever the Union Jack flies, you'll find justice and good rule. The defeat of the Kaffir at Rorke's Drift by an heroic handful of British soldiers meant an end to the Zulu problem. the Dutch settlers took a little longer to sort out. Remember, the Boers knew the country. They had a slight advantage at first. But finally, we taught them a lesson. What was that lesson, Cutler?
Sir, they learnt, sir, that the British were superior.
And
destined to rule Africa.
Yes, but what's the expression I'm looking for? Help Cutler out, Rogers.
The sun will never set on the Empire, sir.
Never set on the Empire, correct. And let us not forget the courage, marksmanship, and resourcefulness of our New Zealand volunteers who fought in South Africa. Brave men who did not hesitate to answer the Empire's call. Let us hope, Cutler. Let us hope and pray that someday you will have the privilege to answer the Empire's call and be prepared to make the supreme sacrifice.
Young Cutler's opportunity.
Right. I enjoyed playing that. In fact, it was playing that part that got me the part in Brunner. David Baldock, a TV producer here, was producing Brunner, so that's how I got the part, because he was also producing Legacy. And now to finish off with Monnjumper. Monnjumper was a 14-episode children's serial, and I played one of the two adult leads in that. I played a nasty fella that turned up pretty good in the last 5 minutes of the 14th episode. This is sold to 14 different countries, most of them small, but it also sold to Central Television and Border and TVNZ in Britain. Okay, so bits and pieces of Monnjumper.
Too good even to speak to us now.
Well, I don't know. Spoke to me. Horse trailer, grazing for 2 weeks.
Oh, yes, well, I want to talk to you about something.
Nicky, I don't believe it. Nicky?
Work for you.
Yes. I've paid top money. You see that? Business with Red J proved what I already knew.
What you already knew?
That I need a good trainer.
Me? Not if you own the last horse on earth.
What have you been doing for the last 8 weeks?
I was in Australia working in stables there.
I see. I know how to pay award rates. I'll give you a 6-week trial.
Thanks.
I'll have another look at these.
Okay.
That's all. Where's Snow?
You. Don't do that.
Don't wear those stupid things at work. Where's Snow?
I don't know.
You mind your attitude. Your first day at work will be your last. Now saddle up Kubler.
Don't mind him. He just likes the sound of his own voice. Snow said you'd been to Australia. I was there for a while.
Listen, I gotta saddle up Kubler.
He's not very friendly. Seems to be catching around here.
Hello? Yes, I've got a call in. Copeland Stables. I'd like to speak to the owner, please. It's Tad Masters here, speaking from Dunedin. I want to make an inquiry about a young man who worked for you.
And when will he be back? I'll try then. Oh, towels, keep this in.
This place will have carpet before winter.
Yes, well, I'm interested in real winners. Racing and, Look, are you going into town today?
Probably have to, why?
I know what you'll think, but I've been practically forced into it. I wonder if you could run those into the print shop for me and get a couple of hundred by tonight.
You're making a mistake, if you ask me.
Stick to the GGs. I'll look after the rest.
Can you believe it?
You want a story? I'll give you a story. There's a smear campaign going on. There are some people in this community who are scared. Very scared by the things that I stand for. Law and order's high on the list. Law and order. Yes, it does happen to be the platform that I'm running on. No, I don't think that law and order's in any way hackneyed. Come in. No, not you. Look, I'll ring you back. Oh, surely the Chronicle can wait 15 minutes. Look, deadlines or no deadlines, I've got a stud barn to run. How'd you like that? Because he owns a paper, he thinks he's some tin pot Hitler or something.
You wanted something?
Two things. I don't happen to find this too amusing.
What a terrible thing to do to a man.
It's a visual disgrace. After I spent hours putting these up round the district.
It's an eyesore. What do you want me to do about it?
Obviously, it's the work of kids, and I've a fair mind who.
Doesn't have to be kids.
Do you think I enjoy all the upheaval this election is going to bring me?
You're the one who stood.
And where would we be if everyone waited for something to happen? That's what you want me to do? Wait around for life to pass me by? Why does it have to be the go-aheads that have to put up with the abuse, the petty attacks, the snide comments? Tall poppies. If it sticks its head up, cut it down. If Kim, Nicky, or that Ashley boy are behind this, I want their guts for garters, understood? Point two. I was led to understand that we had a future champion in Nicky. I must say I am bitterly disappointed. Bitterly disappointed.
She's had a hard time. She's coming right.
I can't afford to wait for things to come right. Don't forget who pays the wages around here. Look, I know she's got a heart set on that overseas trip. But at the present rate, I don't think she's a dog show of making it.
I've had words.
Words? Like everything else, I suppose. I'm sorry, but I look around me and I see lax attitudes. Lax riding, lax behavior. Ashley's not come forward over the posters, has he?
What makes you think it's him?
Wake up, man. I want the kids lined up in half an hour. No ifs or buts.
You're not going to...
We've run out of soft options. Last night, two things came to my attention which I would sooner have done without. The first was a certain guitar, Ashley, which practically woke up the district. I don't know what you were celebrating, but in future your so-called musical endeavours shall cease at 8:30. Understood? In future, Mrs. Hargest, please tell me before you go out visiting. I don't want the bunkhouse left unattended. Do I make myself clear? Unfortunately, I have worse to report. Thank you. I'm glad you all find it so amusing. This happened within hours of me putting them up. It happened to all of them. All, every single man jack. And since I took it upon myself to advertise in our immediate neighborhood, I can safely suggest the culprit dwells here on my farm. Nicky. Kim.
Ashley. The fun's over. We've had our laugh. Tell you what I'll do to hurry this sordid little business along. I'll give you the whole morning for the guilty party to own up. I might even refrain from sacking him.
All right, Shabbat.
I gave you the choice. Come clean or be dragged out in front of the others. I can see I wasted my time. This morning, I took the liberty of having an inspection of the bunkhouse. And if your rooms are any indication of the way you train, then I'm not surprised you have trouble with the simplest of jumps, Nicky. During my inspection of the rooms, I found this. In your room.
It had already been done before I stuck it up in my room. Choice, eh?
I made a big mistake with you, boy. A big mistake.
Now look here. You go on about the way we train and everything. You seem to forget that Ace is up at 5:30 every morning. You don't have a clue how much Ace has helped me.
And what about the graffiti?
It seems to me it's no good confusing the two things. You can't convict a boy on a messy room.
And the posters?
There's a law that says I can't have one. I mean, there's plenty more just like it. But if you're saying I don't do my job or anything, then get rid of me.
This lad really help you?
I tell you what, why don't you try the jump, Nicky? If you don't make it, then I'm down the road. Can't work for an owner who has no confidence in what I do.
Can't do that.
Do it.
I'll settle up.
And so we just forget about the question of my mayoral campaign.
Oh, I'm sure we won't be allowed to forget that.
So what about it?
You're out in her ear, but she's just trying to protect you. Let's have a look.
Highest jump on the course.
Stand up there where she wants to ride.
You're mad. You really think I'll make it?
I bid my Sex Pistols collection.
Thanks all the same.
Listen to them. Anyone think it was the Olympics?
A boy's career. And Nicky's.
All right. We'll give them something to get worked up about. Ashley! Raise that jump!
And that's about it. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.